Hey there, Rocky, Game Changer here. So let's have a little scan. So first thing to check, 83-34, very, very good. You possibly can get a little bit more on your defence. So we'll have a little scan of that. Nice PvP result there, so keep working at that as well, because obviously, as you know, you get some cracking points for that. So keep up the great work. So let's have a little look at the base. So we're in Rockyville now. Let's just turn this down a little bit. So observations are very, very good. The spacing's excellent. Kind of recognise the base a little bit as well, so that's never a bad thing. Just watch out. You've got a few turrets there that aren't necessarily transforming up. If you're doing that on purpose, absolutely fine. But obviously be aware of it. I'd maybe as well bring this helicopter closer towards your turrets, because obviously that's going to get picked off from that point there. I mean, unless again you're planning on that, so that they'll set the helicopters to leave the war factories and barracks alone. Could be a strategy you're thinking of, which don't mind that at all. Maybe again have a little bit of thinking about mine positions. Probably up the top here would be well worth having a look at. Now in terms of turrets as well, let's have a little see what have you got in terms of flak. So you've got missiles and one flak. Yeah, see how you go. I mean, if you're getting attacked by more sort of chopper orientated, or with the bases now being stronger, you tend to find that the Raptors obviously come into their own. So trying to make yourself a little bit more Raptor proof is impossible, but if you can have it so that the Raptors at least doesn't get a second chance and you cause them a lot of oil damage, then that's always good. You are obviously vulnerable on the large turret now to the airstrike, so obviously having the flat there is good. Now I know you've obviously had a look at my base, because this is basically similar to a format that I'm working on. One of the things I have personally looked at though is the thing I was finding. I kind of thought, you know what, I'll keep all my vehicles tight up in this wall as you have, and then recently I've actually opened that wall up a little bit so that the vehicles do escape, because what I was finding was, yes, all well and good that they're trapped in there, but obviously you could be then vulnerable for an airstrike. If obviously you have the wall now removed and say, I mean for me I've got Zeus, so my Zeus come out 7 or 14 seconds depending on how many I've got of them, and that helps with air support, because obviously they're very good at taking down planes and helicopters. But also you know, you've got tanks coming towards it, and I also use the Ontos as well. I don't use the Ontos for anything other than defence. But the Ontos will absolutely destroy GMLRS M270s and later on the HIMARS. So quite an effective little vehicle, and very underestimated, very underused in the game, I would fancy. I mean, if it gets hit by anything, it's quite weak because it's still a buggy, but they're quite fast. And if you're using an M270 or these HIMARS that you can see that I've got, the Ontos gets underneath them quite easily because they often fire over the top of it. So they're quite a nice little strategy. So if you have a tank as your first slot and then the Ontos as your second slot, but making sure they actually get out of the base is proving to be something that I've had another look at. So that's maybe something to tweak. I mean, I was also thinking myself the other day that losing all my machine guns, and I had predominantly more salvos and peacemakers. If you can get peacemaker in there, obviously make sure you do so, because that'll be your next turret to look at. But what I found was, because of the peacemaker doesn't lock on, it kind of fires where you are, and then if you move, obviously it still fires where you were. You know, having a full salvo and peacemaker mix actually, although I thought it was going to be strong, didn't work. So I've gone back to having a high-powered machine gun in there as well. I mean, I still think it's good to be varied, but on the HIMARS that I'm using now, the only thing that outranges a HIMARS is a peacemaker or a salvo. So I think they are certainly turrets well worth looking at. The howitzer obviously can be outranged by HIMARS, so as you get to CC7, you might find that that's more of something that you need to be aware of. Other than that, bro, I think it's really good. I've also changed my opinion of where I put mines. I've brought them a little bit closer. Because yes, I was putting people off coming down this way, but if they come down this way, then that mine's doing no use nor ornament. So I've retweaked the mine position as well. So other than that, mate, really good. I think your base is set up for this new type of strategy now, where the war factory and the barracks are obviously stronger, so therefore needed to be in the centre of the base. I just would probably tweak that helicopters as well, because obviously you'll lose that quite quickly. And also for me, I would probably suggest, if you haven't already got them, maybe having a look at upgrading the type of helicopters you've got to the next sort of range up. Some of the beefier helicopters certainly have a lot more staying power, so that could be your next step. But other than that, looking good, mate. Thanks so much.